Hello, welcome back to this video. It's now just before midnight on the 23rd. The Victoria Royals did play tonight. It's their last game before Halloween, so it was sort of a Halloween theme night. People could dress up as with costumes on. So what I did is I wore the Chilliwack Bruins uniform because the Chilliwack Bruins were the team before Victoria. And I'm just reading from Wikipedia here. The Chilliwack Bruins were a major junior ice hockey team in the Western Hockey League based in Chilliwack, British Columbia. The 2006-07 season marked the Bruins' inaugural season in the WHL. The team played at the Prospera Center, which expanded to 5,286 for the arrival of the team. The Bruins were sold after the 2011 season and subsequently became the Victoria Royals. In the next week or so, I'll do a whole video on the Chilliwack Bruins. So we're back from the game. We got the game sheet, and like always, the traditional shout out to the referees and linesmen. The refs tonight were Brent Iverson, Trevor Noland, and Trevor Beaton, and Nathan Van Hoesten were the linesmen. Now, no, there was very few penalties in this game. We'll get to that in the report. There was a crowd of 2,504 in the arena tonight. So Prince George would open up the scoring in the first period, a goal at 5 minutes and 48 seconds. Then Victoria Royals would tie it on the power play. It's still in the first period at 9 minutes and 19 seconds, right? But in the second period, late in the second period at 16:13 of the second period, Blake Eastman would score his second goal of the season, which would be the game-winning goal. Then there was no more scoring into the third period, where they would get a goal at 14 minutes and 17 seconds into the third period. So it was still a tight game. Victoria would pull the goaltender, but Connor Bowie would score his second goal of the season into an empty net at 30 seconds. The shots on goal were actually a lot closer than other games they've played so far. In the first period, Prince George outshot Victoria 14-10, but in the second period we turned the tide, or turned the tables, and we outshot them 11-7. In the third period, it was Prince George 13 shots, Victoria 8, for a game total of 34 for Prince George, 29 for us. I don't normally read the penalties, but there was only a few penalties. Prince George took 3 minor penalties in the first part of the game. Like only 2 penalties in the first period, both are Prince George. In the third period, they took an interference penalty at 10-12. Then there wasn't any more penalties to 19:49 of the third period, where Riley from Prince George and Luke Shipley got in a major fight, and that was the only penalty assessed to Victoria in the whole game in 19:49 of the third period. Then at the end of the game, Carter McAdams took a 2-minute minor for roughing at the 20-minute mark. Now people would ask me, well, why do they even bother giving a penalty? Because it goes on to his statistics. Like, that's why it's all stat-based. Because their theory is, had the game be tied and it was going into overtime, they would have been shorthanded. What else can we tell you here? The goaltenders tonight were they both went the distance. It was for Victoria. It was Campbell Arnold playing his first ever game. Remember, we got him in a trade a few days ago. And for the Prince George Cougars, there was also their goalie number 35, and that's Taylor Gunther. And the 3 stars of the game tonight were from the Prince George Cougars. The first star was, I can't pronounce his name, Zemer is his last name. For the second star of the game from the Victoria Royals, it was our goaltender, Campbell Arnold. He played fairly well in the game. He gave up the four goals on 30 shots, but his save percentage was pretty high. He had a lot of good saves. And Prince George, Ethan Sampson was also the a star tonight. He was the third star for the for the Prince George Cougars. Yeah, the team didn't put any of the information on the sheet, but a notable note that you guys would remember this guy, Mark Lamb. He's the head coach of the Prince George Cougars, and he had a great career in the NHL. And so I think that's all we need to say about this game. Like I said in previous videos, if there's ever any Royals news, I'll pop out a video. And we will do a video on the Bruins when they played in Chilliwack. So please like and subscribe and watch this channel and hit that notification button so you know when new videos are coming out. Okay, everyone have a great day, and we hope to see you soon.